Hello, Can't Disappoint podcast family. We're here to celebrate Thanksgiving together. We're taking a little break between doing seasons of Into the Time Knife over on our Good Place feed, but we couldn't let a holiday like Thanksgiving to remind us that maybe we're not as close to our respective families as we should be, and we couldn't let that happen without doing a podcast instead of spending time with our families. Regardless, even if we're on a break, we're here to talk about the holiday, to spend Thanksgiving with the people that we're most thankful for, the people that click on us.
Exactly. They're the ones that, I think of you as more than family. Give me money more consistently.
Do you know of any period Thanksgiving songs?
Greens, beans, tomatoes, lambs, rams, turkey, you name it!
The only one I know is that Glee mashup of Turkey Lurkey Time with Let's Have a Kiki, featuring Sarah Jessica Parker. That's the only Thanksgiving song I know. But
saw the trailers for that episode. I had stopped watching the show by that point.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. I'm Zach, and I can't wait until Steven stuffs me with some stuffing like a turkey until my head falls off. I'm
going to drizzle your juices over you once an hour, every hour.
Just baste me all over.
Yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving, friend. I'm
Happy
Zach.
Thanksgiving, buddy. I'm Steven. I swear to God, if the corn touches the sweet potatoes, I'm going to scream.
But you're not that kind of guy.
No, I mix everything together. Put it in a fucking smoothie for all I care. I will slurp it down.
We'll get into the mixing and slurping in just a second, but before we get too deep into the Thanksgiving festivities, we couldn't do any podcast here on our network without shouting out the people that support us every week and every month over at patreon.com/can'tdisappointpodcast, specifically our $10 and up patrons, which are Mary Baker Budisa, Danny M. Lugo, Justin Fortier, Lil S. Haker, who, of course, is a pseudonym for my beloved life partner, Lilith Shaker, and Sarah M. ? Don't know her, can't say anything about her. Thank you to those people for supporting us. I really appreciate that you appreciate the silly shit we do here enough to give us a little bit of change to keep taking it farther. And if this is your first time hearing from us in a while, like if you're just a You Can't Disappoint a podcast listener, or if you're just a Brokeback Bebop listener, or if you're not up to date on Into the Time Knife, whatever, it's a good time to sign up for the Patreon because we're getting ready to talk about what the options for our next show will be. Patreon subscribers already know what the first of the four options for our next rewatch podcast is right now. So you can get that podcast revealing that at patreon.com/can'tdisappointpodcast, along with over 120 episodes of You Can't Dis a Pre-Show, our live pre-show that we do before we record the podcast. The Basement, which you'll hear more about in a second, are that 70s Show rewatch podcast, and all of the episodes of Brokeback Bebop, including the third and final season before it airs on the free feed, and along with that, extended, unedited Patreon cut episodes of all of Brokeback Bebop. So patreon.com/can'tdisappointpodcast. Steven, you're the mixer. You grab your plate and you put everything on it. Do you have anything that you don't really want to mix?
No, my main goal is maximizing how much stuff I can fit on the plate.
You know that they're not going to tell you can't go back, or is it so ravenous that everything's gone pretty quick?
No, I just usually go into a food coma after plate 1, so I don't want to get up and make plate 2. So I try and have 2 to 3 plates worth on one plate.
See, I feel like I just have the 2 to 3 plates worth and be fine. I won't not eat things because they're mixed together, but I do kind of like to enjoy the merit and taste experience of each on its own dish. Do you try everything first before you start mixing it, or do you just mix it up on the plate?
I mean, I don't mix it. I just don't mind it touching, and if some of it blends as I'm taking a bite, I will take a bite with 3 things in it.
I'm getting hungry. I think I would put the sweet stuff on a different plate. I don't think it's weird that you're into the sweet potatoes, the yams, as I've been told, with other things. I get why you're into it.
Did you know the yam is the largest vegetable, not a pumpkin? A yam can grow to 5 to 6 feet long.
5 to 6 feet, wow. What have I been doing with cucumbers then?
Shove a yam up inside me.
It's a few days before Thanksgiving. What are you most excited for, and what are you most hoping will find its way onto your Thanksgiving plate this year?
I'm a dressing girly. I
Me too.
love some good dressing. And my grandma and my mom both make really good dressing, as is my uncle. So whoever ends up bringing the dressing, I know I'm taken care of.
But when I went to your family Thanksgiving, your uncle was actually much better with the undressing
Yeah.
around me than the dressing.
To be
We call
expected.
it stuffing
Yeah.
around my parts. Stuffing.
Well, because we're not going to put it inside of the bird.
I
We
totally
merely
understand.
put the
Dressing is
flavor.
the stuffing
Because you
of the
can make
turkey
way more of
to
it
the
if
side.
it's not
You're dressing the turkey and the other sides with
exactly.
what would have been the stuffing of the turkey. No, I always have stuffing as a side. It's never inside of the turkey, and I've never called it dressing.
Well, by definition, stuffing should be made inside of the turkey.
I love stuffing so much with some celery in it, some onions,
Those do, I think, go in there.
or some cornbread stuffing, also very good.
What is cornbread stuffing? Is that just with...
It's for the bread and stuffing. You use cornbread. You use cornbread crumbs instead of.
What else do people use?
A lot of times, like if you get a stuffing kit, not that we always have like homemade stuffing, but it's more like hard breadcrumbs, kind of crouton adjacent.
Oh
that
my
when you
God.
mix them with the broth and everything, they get soft and they become what you want.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Because you're supposed to use like stale bread.
Oh, well.
Because if you use like
I've
really
only
soft,
ever had it made with cornbread.
right, there is a difference. You can get it just traditional. I think like
Wow.
traditional stuffing would be without
Interesting.
cornbread. But cornbread is where it's at.
Cornbread is where it's at. That can be agreed upon by every race.
What are you
Cornbread is where it's at.
least looking forward to as related to Thanksgiving this year, whether food or otherwise?
The inevitable, my mom decides that she's had enough family time and it's time to go, that happens at the end of every holiday.
That's interesting. That's what you're least looking forward to. Is it because you get dragged out along with that when you'd kind of
It's
to
like
leave on
always,
your own terms?
family's always going to annoy someone somehow, and my mom
Yeah.
is always the one who gets annoyed somehow by the family. Because
I feel like usually
one
she's
of the
probably
middle
right to be
children.
annoyed by what she's annoyed by, right? Or
Yeah,
do you
usually.
Yeah.
I just see at these family things, I am so high at this point that like I don't care.
If you're
I'm just
listening,
vibing.
Mary, why don't you just get really blitzed
Yeah.
before Thanksgiving? You'll love the food, and you'll just laugh at what everybody's saying and comprehend very little of it.
I think it was last year I gave my mom like a gummy before we got to Thanksgiving, and that was funny.
That's funny. I guess I'm looking least forward to, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to go.
Yeah, that's
so
fair.
I think I'll be good.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of today's
I will be
podcast.
giving your mom a gummy before your Thanksgiving.
I would love that.
That'd be so
I feel
funny.
like I don't know what I can.
Because
What I should
here's,
say. and
you know
I
what
shouldn't
parents
say.
just don't understand? There's no difference than eating a gummy and drinking 4 glasses of wine at the table. Actually, the wine's far worse for you.
Yeah, but my mom doesn't do that either.
Oh, really? She's not a glass of wine with Thanksgiving
She's just
dinner?
like, I don't know. The things that are traditionally considered to be fun, not for her. Not for her. We're going to get into the meat and potatoes of today's podcast, which is a special drop of an exclusive Thanksgiving episode of The Basement, our That 70s Show rewatch podcast. And you can only get this show on Patreon right now. We've given a few little samples here and there on the free feed, and that's what this is. The only way to really listen to every episode of The Basement is on Patreon at patreon.com/can'tdisappointpodcast. I recently, because it's Thanksgiving time and I'm getting in the feels, I recently revisited our episode from a few months ago where we talked about the Thanksgiving episode of That 70s Show. And I just found it so funny, weirdly funny. Like, I think that we're funny, but I'm not listening back to our stuff and laughing really loud. So when something really makes me laugh, you know it's a good one. And there's stuff in this that made me laugh. So I couldn't let the Thanksgiving time go by without sharing with our favorite people, the people that give us a click, the people that we're most thankful for, as a special taste. And yeah, becking them in. Give us the dollars. Listen to the whole thing. Listen to the whole
Bring
thing.
it this way.
You can find
Back
all
it
of
on
season
up.
1 of The Basement over at patreon.com/can'tdisappointpodcast, where we update new episodes all the time. Steven, I haven't let you talk for a second. We're about to queue up the episode, but give me something. Give me some Stevenisms. What are you thinking?
You know that point in Thanksgiving where you sneak off to the basement and you're playing with your rich uncle's kids' toys and you accidentally break the ping pong paddle?
You never had
and
any kids, which is weird, but you always had the newest toys. Always had the newest toys. All the ones that I wanted for Christmas somehow.
Yeah, it was really weird and never got to take them home.
No.
But, you know, when you're down there in that basement playing with your little cousin's Fortnite, make sure that you light a candle so they can't smell you smoking weed in your bedroom.
You started really subtle with it, and then you just went full force. Well, that's
a
great way
before.
to segue.
Not me, obviously, because I'm smart, but definitely was at a Thanksgiving where the extended family of someone's significant other got caught smoking weed in their room downstairs. And I was like, woo, couldn't be me, rookies!
I just went to a wedding recently, and a bunch of us snuck off to a corner to do the thing that people do, and we I didn't know this could still happen. I'm an adult. We got in trouble.
That's so funny. From who?
From everybody. I guess people walked outside of where the reception was, and it was really, really, really prevalent.
Wow.
I don't know. I didn't know that would be a thing, but apparently it is. We got in trouble.
See, just Saturday, I was at a function, and some of us stepped out onto the balcony and had, some vaporized fun. And later on, somebody unexpectedly in the middle of us playing a party game had rolled something for the crew. Whoa. So a bunch of us stepped outside and had a big circle with a bunch of fun people. It was really nice.
Well, the circle was fun. It was more you guys shouldn't do that.
You know that's not legal in this state.
Well, we're going to get into it. So we're going to do a little sign-off because we're just going to play the episode and get out of here.
Yeah.
Because we've got our own Thanksgivings to get to. But I wanted to let you guys know that we will be back next week, again, on all 3 of our podcast feeds to reveal the first of the 4 options for our next rewatch podcast, which after all 4 are revealed early next year, you'll be able to have a vote and decide for us what show we'll do next. It's totally up to you. It's shows that range from a few episodes to hundreds of episodes, and it will be up to you. Very exciting. Make sure you join us on whichever feed you choose next week or on YouTube and Patreon. We talked about it already. We don't need to do it like it's the end of an hour-long podcast. Steven, tell the people where they can find us.
If you want to get elbow deep in our turkey assholes, make sure you come and follow us over on Twitter and Instagram over at the various places, be it Can't It's a Pod, be it at Time Knife Pod. You can find us there. Does Brokeback Bebop have a Twitter?
Yeah, all 9 followers love what's going on over there at Brokeback Bebop.
At Brokeback Bebop. Any of those 3, search the name of any of the shows on YouTube and you'll find us. Check out the basement on our Patreon. Or just Can't Disappoint
Podcasts.
Yeah. Can't Disappoint Podcasts on YouTube. You can find all the video companions, special interviews we've done, little one-offs. Maybe there's a sex tape. Has it gotten taken down? You won't know if you don't check.
Well, from inside the post-food coma at Can't Disappoint headquarters, Black Lives Matter, I'm Zach.
I'm Steven.
And we'll see you next week. Enjoy your holiday, and please enjoy the special sneak peek of the basement.
Let's eat.
Now, is everything on the table? I still feel like I forgot something. Oh, my God, I forgot your mother. No! Hello, Mother Foreman? No, I didn't forget you. Oh, I don't know. The kids left a half hour ago to pick you up. I can't imagine what's keeping them. Put that back. Hi.
Toyota's blocking my car. I need the keys.
You hold on one teeny tiny second. For the love of God, move! You sure they're not there? Look out your window. No, do you have your glasses on?
Hello, Wisconsin.
Was that you being a slutty college girl?
Absolutely it was.
Well, hey, slutty college girl Steven. I bet if I scoot over, I can make room for you up here on my washer. Going through a real heavy load right now.
An uneven load.
Yeah, come on, get in this uneven load with me.
Ooh, slow dancing.
If you want to know a real uneven load, give me until the rent cycle and you'll see one.
Nice. Zach.
Hey, Steven, how are you doing? It's very lovely to see you for the somethingth hour today.
Yeah, we've been together a while,
A lot.
and I'm looking forward to this next segment of it.
4.5?
Zach,
4.5. We're looking at a 4.5 Zach and Steven time
I'm
zone.
home for Thanksgiving break. I'm here at your dinner table.
Yes.
With a water cup full of cigarettes, and I'm ready for you.
You do practically sleep naked.
Practically.
I do sleep naked.
Wow. I don't.
sleep naked. I'm putting it out there. And once you get used to it, when you go to like a hotel or something and you want to wear pajamas, it feels wrong. The constricting of the clothes, it grabs, it clogs. It doesn't clog.
and
That's
those
just what
Boy
came out.
Scouts are not going to make you keep your outfit on, no matter what they say.
I don't care what the policy at Kokomo AMC 11 says. I sleep naked, and I'm sleeping
If I'm gonna nap
through the
in
second
this
half
movie,
of Oppenheimer.
the clothes
Okay?
are coming off.
I hope everyone is finding us well. Welcome to the basement.
Well,
the
they found us well.
internet's
How do we
favorite
find them?
behind a paywall podcast about a sitcom starring a sexual abuser. We're really glad to be here to talk about another episode of the show. I'm glad Steven's here. I'm glad you're here if you're listening. We have a lot of fun doing silly stuff here, and if you're one of the loyal, dedicated few who clicks play on this and watches the show with us...
We lucky few. Are you going for like a St. Crispin's Day speech thing?
Well, I don't know what that means, so I doubt it. But thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. We're going to talk about the show. Steven's going to do a silly voice that'll go on a minute or 2 or 12 longer than it needs to go on, but it's going to be fun, and I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad you've joined us. Steven, how are you at this hour?
You know, I'm feeling great. I really enjoyed our pre-show, post-show basement sesh. That was great.
Yeah.
We had a nice little circle.
Mm-hmm.
A straight line circle. It's more like a game of Pong or downhill skiing.
More like a game of bong.
You can't say that in here. Get out. You're kicked out. You're kicked out of this store,
this was
buddy.
the Nirvana store in the Anderson, Indiana defunct Mounds Mall. It's
Yeah.
a deep dive for real.
That's where I think I learned the
real
word
Zach and
bong.
Steven heads.
Was knowing that you can't say it in Nirvana.
Well, okay, I feel like I saw references to it on TV because I watched comedy, and weed is awesome and funny, so it gets mentioned a lot.
Sure.
But that's probably my first ever seeing one in a store.
Sure,
and it being
absolutely.
something that you can get.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was a kid, I was like, oh yeah, I guess you can't call it that because you're not supposed to use it for that. But then you like reach a certain age and you're like, whatever else would anyone use it for? Nothing.
Tobacco.
Bong rips of a tobacco plant. Guys,
I've
if
never done that.
you
That sounds
are
terrible.
ripping tobacco bong hits, type
That's
us in
the
a
most
message.
embarrassing
Because we
activity
know
I've
you
ever heard
can't
of in my
talk
life.
anymore. Don't call in. Type us up a little message. Don't strain what's left of that throat.
It's like
Let
a
us know
cigarette
why
with
you do that
style.
to yourself. Hi, everybody. I
Hey.
don't know. What do you want to talk about? Do you have anything you want to talk about? Loose, easy breezy? Back in the
Let's
70s.
see.
Thanksgiving. Let's talk about the good old day of Thanksgiving. A lot of food. One of the only days of the year I still feel obligated to spend in front of family.
I'm going to come out and say it, Zach. Thanksgiving's my favorite holiday.
I think it's my favorite too
Love
because
the
I'm
food.
distancing myself from family holidays and I love food, and the family I don't like hanging out with makes good food, so they've got that going for them. And the family I do like hanging out with, I like hanging out with them. So it makes for a fun day. No low expectations too. There's no who got who what or didn't get who what.
You show up.
There's
eat.
no why are you naked? We've told you this so many times. Why are you
Yeah.
asleep naked?
You just got here.
Yeah.
Zach rolls through the door asleep, and somebody just throws him
Well, other
through the
than my
window.
knit sleep cap that has a very long tip,
Gotta protect those locks.
really long tip with the little ball at the end
Yeah,
of it. You're
gotta.
visualizing it. And then my butt bare as day.
I
My
am.
23
I like that.
nieces and nephews just
Picture
mortified.
a taller Dexter when he's naked. That's what we're going for.
Dexter's laboratory?
Dexter's laboratory. Yeah, not the serial killer.
Is it because there's an
Dexter's
episode
lab.
where he shows his butt cheeks, or is
Yeah.
this me learning that's how you see me?
I see
as
you
Dexter.
as him and his little butt cheeks.
Because I'm not
But
very
taller.
tall.
No,
My
taller.
hair's
You're
kind of
taller.
red. Yeah, because I'm an adult man.
Yeah.
He was a little baby boy. That
And you
was
take
kind
little
of the
tiny
premise.
little baby
Little Doogie
steps.
Howser situation.
And you're constantly complaining about your stupid sister, Dee Dee. right? That's you that I'm thinking of?
I really like Dexter's Lab. Did you enjoy
Dexter's Lab's great.
Dexter's Laboratory?
I think it has some of the funniest voice acting of any animated show. It's
Dexter
so funny.
specifically or other characters too?
Dexter and
Because he's
Mandark.
really funny. And who? Mandark.
Mandark is his rival. Ha ha ha! It's just hilarious.
Yeah.
Really good.
I haven't watched that one in a while. I bet you it holds up.
Dexter's holds up. I've seen it recently enough. But I've started liking Thanksgiving even more. Zach, it's already my favorite. But since I've started smoking weed, Thanksgiving, perfect. It's the best day of the year for me. Not a better one.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. I like Thanksgiving
I sit to myself. I mind my own business. I enjoy time with family, and I eat good food.
And honestly, one of the best things about holidays is holiday-themed episodes of sitcom television. Sure. There are a lot of classic television sitcom episodes that I love to watch on Christmas, Halloween, Thanksgiving, much more than I enjoy actually doing the activities based around those holidays.
Yeah.
And Thanksgiving is kind of the underrated one. I feel like a lot of shows do Halloween and Christmas really well. Most shows skip Thanksgiving, but a few of them do it really well. One of them being Friends is like the easy one to go to.
New Girl.
New Girl has, that's a good point. New Girl has a good Thanksgiving episode. There's a Glee Thanksgiving episode. They mash up, I'm gonna make this place your home.
Yikes.
With, I don't remember.
50 nifty United States.
Yes, they matched up Philip Phillips's home with 50 nifty United States by various.
Alabama.
Oh, we're talking about Thanksgiving. What's your favorite Thanksgiving food, and what's the thing that you don't bother to put on your plate?
I go gaga for some sweet potatoes, especially if I can mix some mac and cheese in with the sweet potatoes. That just, I mean, I'm about to burst right now just thinking about it.
What was it? That's the phrase we've been using today. Jock your jorts.
Don't junk your jeans.
Not jock your jorts.
I'm about to junk my jeans on that one.
Yeah. Let me ask you though, because elephant in the room, there is a racial difference between you and I.
Absolutely.
I know we never bring
Massive
it up.
One.
I know
huge.
It doesn't come up, and I know it does not inform anything about our friendship at all.
Well, you're a diversity hire, Zach.
But when you say sweet potatoes, in a black household, is it like mashed potatoes?
No, ma'am.
Is it like a baked potato?
No. It is.
It's
like,
not the casserole.
No.
Then how are you having it, buddy? Those are the three ways.
So you take a sweet potato and you kind of do like thick slices, and you make
like
them in like this. Yeah, kind of a little thicker.
Interesting. I'm more interested now.
And they're like that, but you cook them in like a really sweet, syrupy, like sweet, just yummy, sugary sauce.
So it is still sweet.
It's super sweet. It's
and you
delicious.
like to mix your mac and cheese with it.
Yeah, fuck me up.
Not into that. But the sweet potatoes, that sounds good. I'm into that.
Mm-hmm.
I like the marshmallowy white people sweet potato stuff, but that shit
I don't
sounds
mind
good
it.
too.
I don't eat the marshmallow part though.
I'm down. I'll eat it all. Texas Roadhouse, and you get a little cup of marshmallow.
Roadhouse.
Did you ever do that though? Did you ever get the baked sweet potato there?
I hate Texas Roadhouse.
But nothing. What's wrong with a sweet potato that's been baked for your pleasure?
I like a baked sweet potato, but
is it a race thing? Is it a race?
No,
divide?
I used to get that at the Golden Corral or Ryan's. I'd get a baked sweet potato.
Okay, so you'll go there. I feel like I went to Golden Corral within the last year.
Texas Roadhouse served me my mac and cheese visually in a bag. They brought it out in the plastic bag they heated it up in and opened it and squeezed it into my bowl in front of me. Zach, they did that to me.
That just can't be true.
Zach, it's true.
Wait. Well, the steaks don't do that. Maybe just get some veg. Not really a vegetable
they have
guy.
peanuts.
And you can just throw that shit wherever you want.
Yeah.
You're allowed. Well, I think that's enough Texas Road talk. Let's get into that 70s show.
Let's get into it.
I do kind of want a steak now. Nothing wrong with a good steak.
Yeah.
And when you live in Anderson, there's not a lot of places to go to get a good steak. So
Montana
the
Mike's is
bagged mac and cheese will do. You know that's what Panera does.
Yeah, but I like theirs because they don't show me the fucking bag.
Well, yeah, you're not supposed to show the bag.
You're not supposed to show
the bag. Yeah, we're talking about season 1, episode 9 of that 70s show. This episode is called Thanksgiving. It's directed by the great David Traynor, like most of the episodes of the show. And today, On the trainer train, the trainer train. We're talking about his next credit, which is directing 8 episodes of a program called Camp Wilder. Camp Wilder ran for 19 episodes from 1992 to 1993.
Is that
and
a
it
Van
starred.
Wilder thing?
Excuse me?
Is that a Van Wilder
Excuse me?
thing?
No, this was before that. You'll learn what it is in a second. This show, Camp Wilder, starred Mary Page Keller,
Wow.
Jerry O'Connell. I know. Who
Hey,
that
I know
was.
him.
Jay Moore is a comedian, and get this, Hilary Swank.
I thought you were going to say Hillary Clinton.
Yes, one Hillary Rodham
Rodham
Clinton.
Nice. Good for Hillary Swank. You ever
Was
seen Boys
Clinton
Don't
the
Cry?
president in 92, 93? Would this have been around then?
Clinton
Or
was
that
elected president in 96.
Later. Right. Okay. And along with having those stars,
92 was still HW.
this show also guest starred some huge names like Jared Leto
Whoa, ugh.
and Seth Green.
I like him.
Okay, here's the log line for Camp Wilder. This is what it's all about. After her parents' deaths,
Nice.
a single
Hot.
mother moves
Who
back
works
to
2
her
jobs.
A single mother moves back to her childhood home to become the legal guardian of her younger siblings.
Nice.
So she's raising a kid and her siblings, I
A
guess,
single mom who works 2 jobs,
who loves her
kids
kid and never
stops.
stops. Okay.
Nice.
So, yes, David directed 8 episodes, including an episode of Camp Wilder called Something Wilder,
Hey, I bet that was an important one.
an episode called A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Dorfman.
That's way
That's
too
right,
many
guys.
words.
One of those main characters is named Dorfman here on Camp Wilder. And we've also got that David directed the series finale of the program. That was Thin, This Is Now.
Wow.
This episode of That 70s Show was written by Jackie Behan, and Jeff Filgo. Now, this is a fun one. They're a writing duo, so everything they write together. And after season 1 of That 70s Show, they were married.
Congratulations.
So they continued on as both Jeff and Jackie Filgo, which thanks God, because I'm not going to say that fucking last name more than once or twice. Behan. On That 70s Show, they wrote a list of episodes. Here they are. Ski Trip, That Wrestling Show, Water Tower, I Love
Nice.
Cake, Red's New Job, Moon Over Point Place, Too Old to Trick or Treat, Too Young to Die, Dine and Dash, which is maybe the best
Nice.
episode of the show, Romantic
great
Weekend, The Promise Ring, The Relapse, Love Wisconsin Style, Going to California, Your Time Is Gonna Come, The Kids Are All Right, The Seeker, and Time Is on My Side. They
Wow,
wrote
that
episodes
time.
from each of the first 7 seasons of the show, so that's pretty cool.
Wow,
They stuck
there's a
around for the
staple.
majority of it. Outside of That 70s Show, their other credits include the screenplay for Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Hey, I read a lot of those books and I
Mm-hmm.
watched both movies.
There's like 3 or 4.
Fuck.
And then now there's 2 animated ones.
Wow.
Like
Not watching
CGI
those.
animated Disney Plus ones. They also created and co-ran a Matt LeBlanc vehicle titled
Nice.
Man with a Plan.
I know of that.
Yes, this episode, Thanksgiving, it originally aired on November 22nd, 1998.
Wow.
And we're going to do
Baby's next Thanksgiving.
our next segment. We're going to talk about the number 1 movie and the number 1 album. The number 1 movie this week.
Mm-hmm.
You would have only been like a year in 1998. But if you were going to be dragging your parents to take you to see a movie based on a television series this November, as a baby, it would be this one.
Movie based on a television series. That wasn't as common a thing back then.
That's your hint. If you want to give me a guess.
Is it animated?
Yes.
Animaniacs, Wacko's Wish?
No, that was not a theatrical film.
Damn, should have been. Great movie. Is it a Muppets thing?
No.
Give me another hint.
I'll give you a little bit of the plot.
Yeah, give me some of the meat and potatoes.
It involves a new baby brother.
Oh, Rugrats!
Yes, the Rugrats movie was the
Hell
number 1
yeah.
movie, November 22nd, 1998. We're going to play a new edition to this game talking about how well we think people regard films such as these. The Rugrats
Yeah.
movie. What do you think its critic score on Rotten Tomatoes is? The critic score.
85%?
No. No.
Oh, is it
no,
much lower? Is it like a 52?
Close, sir.
Fuck,
It's
are you
59,
kidding me?
59%. The critics.
What?
59%.
It's not as good as the second one,
Get
but
this,
still,
a lot
what
of times the
hell?
divide on Rotten Tomatoes, and we've talked on other podcasts about why the tomato meter is
Yeah.
kind of shitty. Usually it's like low critic score, really high audience score, because the audience likes a lot more than the critics like. So, Rugrats movie, 59% from the critics. What do you think about the audience on Rotten Tomatoes? 85%?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you that's incorrect. Do you want to give another guess?
62.
I'm going to tell you that's incorrect. 50% lower
fuck?
for the audience. What about
People don't
Letterboxd?
like the Rugrats movie?
Let's talk about Letterboxd. Letterboxd is film snobs, but a lot more of the generation that would come up with the Rugrats movie. It's of the people. I've translated its score out of 5 to a percent to compare it to Rotten Tomatoes. What do you think the
6.2.
Letterboxd percent? Let's get a percent out of 100.
62.
62%.
Yeah.
Is that your final answer?
Final answer.
That is 100% correct. It's got a
Heyo!
3.1
I know
on
the people.
Letterboxd out of 5, which would come out to a 6.2
That's what I was
or
picturing would
62%. The number one album,
Mm-hmm.
it's a Canadian follow-up to a beloved classic.
Is it Bare Naked Ladies?
No,
Robin
beloved
Thicke?
classic. Beloved classic.
Ryan Reynolds? Celine Dion.
You're not close. Beloved classic.
Canadian.
One might even say that you ought to know this one.
Oh, wow. Alanis Morissette.
Yes. Do you know what
Not
her
Jagged Little
follow-up to
Pill.
Jagged Little Pill
The
was
second
titled?
one was called...
Thank you,
Thank You.
India.
Is this called Thank
You. What?
Is the name of the album Thank You?
No.
Serendipitous?
Nope. 4 words. Nope. It's called Supposed Former Infatuation Junkie.
Wouldn't have gotten that.
The follow-up to Jagged Little Pill. It's a little bit more dark and brooding than Jagged Little Pill. A little
Just
more
a
complex.
little plug here. If anyone listening to this ever gets the chance to go see Jagged Little Pill, go see
Yeah.
it. It's incredible. My new favorite musical I've seen in person.
Steven's got a big financial stake in this, so he really needs it.
Yeah, I
he
need
really
you guys
needs
to
this tour
butts
to
in
take
seats,
off.
Butts in seats.
So the follow-up to Jagged Little Pill. Okay, so on our other show, we're doing Pitchfork and Rate Your Music. Pitchfork was not around to review Supposed Former Infatuation Junkie at the time, so we're going to go with Rolling Stone.
Ugh, I hate Rolling Stone.
What do you think out of 5
They suck, Zach.
Rolling Stone gave to the follow-up to Jagged Little
Well,
Pill?
Rolling
Supposed
Stone is
Former
bad, so I'm going to say
Infatuation
they
Junkie.
gave it a 4.2 because they like to always like the worst album of the
I don't
two.
think they do percents unless I think they do halves.
Okay, 4. So I
Yes.
think they gave it an 80%.
They gave it a 4 out of 5. Well,
Yeah.
Rate Your Music does out of 5, so it's easy to just do it out of 5.
Sure. Okay.
So Rolling Stone gave this album a 4 out of 5.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about Rate Your Music, where the everyman music snobs rate their tunes.
2.9.
Out of 5, you think at 2.9.
I think that's what Rate Your Music has it as.
I will tell you it's higher. Would you like to guess one more time?
4.3?
Too high. 3.45.
3.45. I think that's about where this album is.
Good, decent album. It's not as
Yeah.
good as the previous. And now let's move on. Let's talk about this episode. Do some other segments.
In a world where week after week a new host takes the reins, one man steps up.
That's right, guys. This week, for the first time ever, me, Steven, I'm back in the goddamn driver's
Not
seat.
the first time. You've done this before.
I have not. I'm taking the reins.
You have. I've edited every
I have
episode of
not.
this show. There was one time
I gave
where
up, but it wasn't me.
Steven, let me tell you what you said. I can tell you exactly what happened. It was the week where you were Morgan Freeman. You
Oh,
ditched
shit.
it and you stepped back in as Steven to host the segment.
Damn, I already blew that card, huh?
You can be you anytime you want. But I hold true to the continuity of the podcast because the people know what is true. Do your thing. Sorry, I'm just making this longer than it already was going to be.
I'm just me this week, everyone. We blew our budget last week on bringing Martin Luther King.
Jr.
He is an expensive SOB, I'll tell you that.
Reanimating his corpse was tough, and he was not happy about it, so we paid out a lot out
We
of
had to
pocket
smooth
for
out
that.
a lot.
But now he's, living off in the Siesta Keys.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's
vibing.
dating one of the others from Sex and the City.
In the words
I think he was
of-
spotted holding hands with Kim Cattrall.
Nice. In the words of a rap song, be he was alive, he probably have a two-tone with the gray poop on. Anything yay poop on will explode, cause I am the shit, and this is my commode. And
lost
in
that
other
thread
news,
a while ago.
do you know who that was, Zach?
Nope.
What artist?
I don't think so.
Kanye West. Kanye West is who we're looking for.
Steven, known West defender. West head, one could say. How about the time Steven forced upon me to listen to all of the pedagogy of Kanye West along a road trip?
That was great. That was one of the most circle-y things to ever happen. Going album for album between Ween and Kanye West. Great combo.
I can't tell you. Don't remember. I don't think I was there.
You weren't there?
I was driving the vehicle.
Here's what we're going to do. It's time for everyone's favorite segment, the basement breakdown.
Is it everyone's favorite segment? Write us
Somebody's.
in. Let us know.
Yeah, tweet at us. How much do you like the basement
At
breakdown?
The Basement, that 70s show rewatch podcast starring Zach Pruitt and Stephen Baker on patreon.com. Find that on Twitter and tweet us.
Yeah, we're only on Threads.
Twitter.com.
Actually.
Yeah.
We're only on Threads.
Fingers crossed. We're still waiting to get accepted.
You have to get accepted.
Zuck said
to Threads?
maybe.
Oh, shit. That's funny. Zach's going to have 20 seconds to break down this episode, Thanksgiving, everyone's favorite holiday. Who gives a shit about Arbor Day? Except for the Arbor Day episode of Charlie Brown. That shit goes crazy. They play a baseball game. There's some real lesbian shit going on in it.
Down. Sign me up. Send me the link.
Peppermint Patty just lets loose in the Arbor
Google
Day
Docs
episode.
me that real quick after this.
I gotcha.
Okay.
I'm going to send you a screen record. I simultaneously am going to do my best to inhale something that's good for my spirit, bad for my lungs. And we're going to see if I cough, Zach gets an extra 5 seconds. You know how it works. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right, on go. You're going to go.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Okay, 3, 2, 1... go!
It's Thanksgiving and everyone in the house is caught up in different drama. Kitty is trying to appease Red's mother, who doesn't like her, but ends up forgetting to have her picked up at the airport. Eric makes out with Lori's college friend, and Donna finds out, and they have to have a hard conversation about whether that was okay or not. Meanwhile, Red needs a job, and Bob offers him a job that will he give up his pride, his Thanksgiving pride, to take that little baby boy job, get that 20 off, baby. Am I done? Let's see. Happy Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving.
So I forgot to press play. I was just listening for like 10 seconds.
That felt so long.
It was. I'm curious of how long I let you go before I pressed play.
I think that was one of my best runs.
Zach? Hey.
Why? Okay.
You got a lot of stuff. You had lots of
He's
time.
staying here. Thanks.
You get an A.
Thank
Good
you.
for you, buddy.
I guess.
And that was this week's Basement Breakdown. Will we get enough money for a host next week that's not me? We'll
Not
see.
likely.
I'm supposed to be running the set and the sound and the direction. I'm supposed to be working the camera and the boom. I can't be hosting too. My hands are full.
Yeah, they are. Outlook unclear on the hosting. It's like Jeopardy up in here.
Ooh.
All right.
You team Ken Jennings or Mayim Bialik in that whole thing?
Ken Jennings.
That's fair.
Easy Ken Jennings.
Yeah, I agree. They were poor.
Let's do some trivia. I've got a couple questions, just 4. I'm going to give you one. What store is having a sale on turkey?
My first question on the small turkeys, Piggly Wiggly.
Mm-hmm.
Give me another one.
Okay. What brand peanut butter is Kitty using on the celery?
Fuck you, bitch. That's my third one. Skippy, I'm going to ask you
I'll give
now.
you another one.
How much does the jukebox cost?
A nickel.
Ooh, close. 10 cents. Big red letters.
Too much. Too much.
Yeah.
I didn't see that. Who could have Kitty married? Who could have Kitty married? Who could Kitty have married?
Kitty married?
Who could
Kitty
have
married?
Kitty? Who could Kitty have married?
Who, I pray tell, could Kitty have married? Jim Bauer.
No.
Jack Bauer.
No.
From 24. Jim Bowser.
Nope.
Jack Black as Bowser.
You're really close. It was the first name was the problem. The first name was the problem. We got the Bauer.
Jeff Bauer.
Nope.
Tim Bauer.
Nope. Try one more.
Eric Bauer.
I'm sending it to you.
John
You got it?
Bauer.
No, Bill Bauer.
Bill Bauer.
His
Bilbo
mother's
Baggins.
dead already.
Bilbo Baggins.
Okay.
Bauer. How early in the morning did Red's mother call on Thanksgiving?
5 a.m. as late Steven was up last night this morning. Later.
Well, I was up later than that. Do you know what time zone they're in Point Place, Wisconsin?
Well, I've been to Wisconsin. Is it the same as me? Or are they on Central? Or are they on neither? Talk to me, please.
Waiting for your answer.
I've said so many things.
Well, you said
Is this
3
an actual
things.
trivia
Which one-
question?
This is just a question.
Oh, well, I guess. I don't... Central.
Central, you're right, Zach. Good job. We'll keep going.
All right. Let's talk about this episode. I think, as we were discussing, holiday episodes of sitcoms can be very iconic. And I think with that in mind, this one kind of disappoints. Because more than it wants to be a Thanksgiving episode, it wants to be an episode about Eric hooking up with another girl.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it could be interesting. I think that there's a lot here that could be interesting. But unfortunately, I think most of the jokes don't sing in this episode. And I also feel like this is like an episode of a version of this show that follows just the household very closely. And the friends are just like the idiots that show up and pile up in the Cadillac and head off to the juke joint.
Sure.
And I don't like that version of the show as much. I like the version that's the kids while the parents are kind of like the watchful eye over. Even as much as I've grown to appreciate the adult characters in the show, and I probably like Kitty's plotline in this episode, trying to appease the mom, and like how specific and relatable the familial relation there feels. I like that. But for the most part, I feel like this kind of misses it. It's too small for a big Thanksgiving episode. I don't know.
I
It's
just
okay.
feel like they had a lot of ideas that would be okay to do in an episode, but they go like not even halfway. They go like 30% on a lot of different ideas, and then they finally settle on which one they want to lean into at the end, and it's fine. And the payoff is okay, but there's no like lesson learned. There's no consequence. If anything, Eric gets rewarded for what I think is pretty bad behavior.
Well, that's so interesting because there's something here about Eric and Donna aren't exclusive, but it's because they're too like uncomfortable to be exclusive. So Eric has a chance to hook up with another girl, and he does. And through that, he like loses some trust from Donna, but he also learns like how he's actually supposed to kiss somebody.
Yeah.
So then in the end of the episode, when he kisses Donna, he like knows how to kiss someone like an adult now. I feel like there's kind of a weird story that has some truth to it in there. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But what I don't like is that the episode it only decides it wants to be about Donna's feelings being hurt in like the last 6 minutes. Before that, it's like 15 minutes of check out this slutty college girl that has no personality, that's supposed to be Lori's friend, and they don't have a goddamn scene together. The second they get off the car, Lori says bye, walks off camera, and they're never seen together again.
And the friend is like, I'm going to bone this kid. And then she kisses the kid and is like, okay, bye. I'm embarrassed. See ya.
It just doesn't work. There's a lot of
Done with
teenage
that.
angst that could be built in this situation. Like, all the pieces are here. Like you said, 30%. It's a holiday. Your sister's in town. She brings a friend.
brought a
There's
friend.
sexual tension. I feel like that's a relatable thing that could have been made way more awkward. Everything comes too easy. She's just like, hey, let's make out. Let's stop. The end. They could have really milked Eric being like, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to do this or not.
They do some really good stuff later on in this show with like a devil angel on each shoulder thing. And they like do it in and what I remember is like being really funny. This would have been a great opportunity to have like a scene where Eric is like contemplating, should I do it? And then he has Donna on one shoulder and like the guy friends on the other one. That could have been, and Kelso on the other one. That could have been a whole fucking thing. And that would have worked out and that would have made sense. Eric just like does it and then is like, haha, let me brag to my friends. He's like, oh no, I completely forgot Donna existed. Now I gotta tell her.
Yeah. I agree. I think it's got all the setup, but it doesn't have the jokes and it doesn't have the follow through. This is one of those episodes that feels the most like, oh look, we're just a parody of a show from the 70s.
Yeah.
With some like extra sex and alcohol and drugs thrown in. It feels a lot less like the freaks and geeksy, semi-grounded kids in reality in this episode, and feels more like them goofing on the types of Thanksgiving. I don't know. I don't hate the episode. I think there's some funny bits. What should we talk about? What's something you liked about this one?
One of the things I think the episode falls short on, and they make up for it over the next.
You ask someone what you liked about something, they say something it didn't do right. That's never a good sign.
I like everything that happens with Kitty and Red's mom leading up to Thanksgiving. I think that's really good. I think
it's funny
like,
that they forget to pick her up.
Yeah, but I love when Red's mom's actually on the show interacting with Kitty, because I think that they nail that relationship and they nail Eric.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Is she the one that dies in a car?
Yeah,
that's soon.
That's really soon. I think she's
So-
in next episode because they take her up to go to church.
But that's not her only episode.
That's not her only episode.
I think she
There's
dies
like a whole
in one other
episode
one.
that's like grandma's
So why
dead.
would they not have her in this episode?
Exactly. I think
Yeah,
that's a
I
missed
agree.
opportunity. But I love everything they have building up to it.
She's such this looming presence.
Mm-hmm.
She keeps calling. Kitty is just worn down by how much she's doing and how she's doing it all kind of to please this woman that's never gonna give a shit. She can't spring on the cheaper turkeys because she wants to get the right thing for Red's mom. She wants everything to be clean, pristine, look like that feeling that we all get when your parent or your partner's parent is around and you're trying to present the squeakiest version of your life that'll make
Yeah.
them feel like you're not fucking up. And no matter what you do, they're gonna be like, there's this little grime right here, and that's the only thing I can think of. There's always something. And this episode only gives us half of that. You're right. It sets up all the anxiety.
You and I like to rewrite things better. I think a better version of this episode has the grandma show up and be introduced. And to make time for that, instead of having Eric actually kiss the college girl, have the tension set up in this episode. Next episode, Lori
I don't
and the
want to see
college girl are
Kate
still there
again.
for a
Lose
couple
the
days.
Kate again. She's a one-timer. That's it. Her name's not
Well,
even Kate. Is it? It's Kate.
It's Kate. Here's what I'm saying, Zach.
You're giving her a quirk, a personality trait.
Yeah, a little bit. I think there's tension with her and Eric. She's leaving. She's like, well, before I go, there's one more chance. And then Eric can decide to do it or not do it at that point and have some tension with Donna. But Donna's like, oh, there's a girl staying there. I don't give a shit. And Jackie's like, be nervous about it. And then 3 seconds later, Eric does. There's no tension build. I need time for tension to build.
She's so nothing. She's
Yeah.
so nothing.
So
Yeah.
give her another chance, Zach. Give me another episode of tension build if you want to
I
make
can do
something
it,
out of
boss.
it.
Throw me back in, coach. Give me one more, Kate.
Just give Kate another go. She's a good kid. She's a good kid.
I
just-
said this
nervous.
to you. It really strikes me wrong. And okay, since this is an episode that I don't like that much, and it's an episode that I am not laughing at that much, this is the type of episode where I start noticing, wow, these people's clothes look really nice. Wow, Eric's hair is perfectly wavy. I start noticing stuff like that when I'm only kind of half pretending to the episode. And that's just not good. If
Yeah.
I'm sitting here reading how much the jukebox cost...
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
That's
know.
fair.
It's an okay
I don't think this is a
episode,
great
nothing too
episode.
special.
I think
don't-
it had potential. I think they dropped the ball a lot of places.
No. I do think some of the stuff that rings true as far as Thanksgiving goes in this episode is the end when Red and Bob are on the couch. We didn't really talk about Red and Bob. There's not that much. Red's too proud to take a job. Bob is going to give him a job because he only has part-time at his other job and
Yeah.
he needs extra money. But them like loosening their belts and everyone moseying around and having their conversations and the dads just being fat fucks.
Yeah, and that's
Eating
me now
food.
at Thanksgiving, and I love it. I've taken a nap at every Thanksgiving the last
Oh, yeah.
6 years. It's
You got
great.
it. See, I'm not staying anywhere near long enough to fall. I'm at nowhere near the comfort level to fall asleep.
That's Zach's in the
family
corner,
gathering.
guarded, arms crossed, with like
Yeah.
2 forks in his hand.
God forbid when someone says, let's play a game. Ugh. Because with my family, you play the game, and then you're like, I'm ready to go home halfway through that game. But they're like, no, we're playing 25 games of the same game tonight.
We're having a round
Kill
robin
me.
tournament of Connect 4, and you gotta stay till the end.
Yeah.
The losers bracket goes deep.
I don't know how many of these I have left, Zachary. Play the fucking game till 2 a.m. on a work night.
Come on, Zach. Do you really have to head back already? It's only 6 a.m. The sun's barely coming up.
Things you hear from your lover and your grandma. I don't have a lot more to say about this episode. I think Thanksgiving is about family, and this episode wasn't willing to go much further than the immediate family.
Yeah.
There are nice moments, like when Red says, what are all you guys doing here? Don't you have stuff with your family? And like, no, they probably did, and then this is the house that's fun.
Well, and
So-
I'll say my family is the one that, and this didn't happen a lot, but it happened enough times that it's like a memory I have where maybe somebody who like was going to like college in our town that worked with somebody or someone that we knew that maybe didn't have a lot of extended family was always welcome at our family, like close family, like holidays and gatherings and things like that. They could have easily gone into like how awkward it is having a stranger at your like family thing. I don't know.
With
That's a
Kate,
thing.
that could be her thing.
That could be her thing. Is it's
That
like
could
kind
be
of
her
awkward
thing.
because everyone knows
Come
that
around
she and
on
Eric
Kate.
made out, and she's there. I don't know. I'm trying to give him something to make the episode interesting, Zach.
Well, the positive is that this show does do better holiday episodes.
Yeah.
And we're still in the good part of this show.
There's
also,
a
we're
really
in the part
good
of this show where
Christmas
it's
episode.
still finding its footing while it's being good. They're allowed to kind of mess this one up. I think there are good things. I think you were talking before we started recording whether you liked this one or Battle of the Sexists less. I think one thing that I'd like better about this one is that the type of assholery Eric is up to, I don't know, Topher just plays Eric in this like charming way that he's able to get away with it more than he did that episode. It doesn't come off as mean-spirited. It's easy to say I probably would have done the same thing too. And I don't know, I think this episode maybe works a little bit better than that one, but that episode probably had a few more laughs than this one.
That might be true. I laughed a fair amount. I don't know why. Speaking of, let's talk biggest laughs.
Let's do biggest
Can I go
laughs.
first?
We usually do biggest cringe first.
Well, sure. Do biggest cringe first, Zach.
I
You
only
always have
have
more cringes than I do, so I don't think of it as a
3.
segment.
I have 3.
Yeah, I have 1.
Because it wasn't an episode that I was writing down things that didn't work for me. It was just an
Yeah.
episode where I wasn't laughing as much.
Well, let me kick us off, Zach.
Did
So you
write
don't
down a
take
handful of
mine.
those.
I thought that it was really fucking stupid when the girl walks out of when Kate walks out of the bus station and is like, "Oh, something, something," and he's like, "You can sleep in my room," and like takes off running. I
Oh,
thought that
God,
was
and he
really
drops all the
fucking
stuff.
stupid.
I didn't think that was funny at all.
I thought that was really bad.
That was cringy. My
Yeah.
first cringe is the Bob's bubble bath moment.
What the fuck was that?
Well, it's them playing with, like, what kind of joke can we tell in this episode?
Mm-hmm.
Can we, in a Scrubs way, cut away to what people are imagining?
Mm-hmm.
And it would maybe kind of work, but it's the way that they shot it, and it's clearly just the guy that plays Bob standing in front of a white
Shirtless.
wall,
Yeah.
shirtless with bubbles on him. There's in the joke before it was like talking about how much Bob gets off seeing Midge naked in the tub.
Mm-hmm.
It should have been like Bob in the tub with bubbles. And they
Yeah.
could have done it in a way where it's just the same bubbles. You don't really need water in the tub. And like Midge's like leg and foot is like
That
on
would
his
be
shoulder
funnier.
or something.
That would be funny.
But instead it's just this at least 4 seconds too long, which is a lot in a 21 minute and 30-second
Or if you want
episode.
to tell that joke, do one where you have Kelso and
Yeah.
Fez or something imagining Midge, and then it cuts to someone else imagining Bob. That's funny.
That's funny.
That's comedy.
And if we want to take that even
You
further,
gotta show the chick, then the guy.
hear me out here. I almost don't like that this is the joke here is that Kitty is repulsed by the way Bob looks naked. When it should have been Kitty is repulsed by her neighbors having sex in a bubble bath.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing wrong with the way Bob looks naked. Believe
I
me,
like
I've
Bob.
seen it. I've seen it.
Don Stark,
Certified zaddy.
capital Z.
Do you have any more cringes? Was that your only one?
That's my only one.
Okay, I've got 2 more quick ones. I like that Kitty and Red are so sexually promiscuous with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Promiscuous is the wrong word, but they're still so sexually active with one another.
Yeah.
But the hey turkey boy, want to show me your giblets?
You've never roleplayed as a turkey and a pilgrim.
Steven, lest you remember Thanksgiving 2021, giblets were involved. You
I
sure
thought that was kind of
gobbled.
funny.
I don't know. It was a little just gross. It's nothing sexy about that.
They
for
look
me.
a lot like a ball
Teach their
sack.
own. Teach their own. And the last thing was the reel of like a turkey plant.
What
A
the
bunch of
fuck
dead
was that?
turkeys
And
hanging
that's
from
what
a
makes
wire.
American turkeys so tasty. I was like, what the hell?
They're not made by the goddamn commies.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Turkey.
the secret.
America's turkey.
Capitalism.
Well, it's supposed to be like school film, like
Mhm.
cut in, like mixed media to be like, oh, this is the 70s. But instead, they're showing us footage of dead animals.
Mm-hmm.
That's all my cringes. Get into some laughs. Give me, God, we need to laugh in this day and age.
My first big laugh of the
Please give me a
episode is
laugh.
when Kitty said that. Well, last year she said that her jaw wasn't strong enough to chew the turkey, and I
Hmm.
think that's a funny image of an old, especially of like not like knowing what she looks like. Red's mom being like, "Oh, I can't eat this. I don't have enough jaw muscle to chew this bird."
And that's
So
a really
funny.
specific old lady complaint of not that,
Yeah.
oh, this doesn't taste good, this is dry, this being like, oh, well, I'm just so withered that I couldn't possibly give what you're giving to me. Yeah, I like that a lot too. The first laugh I had was Eric, that'll give you a chance to tell Dad about the professor you've been dating. What?
That's good.
I thought that was funny. And it ends up being true.
Yeah, Lori's a mess. I liked when Midge wanted Bob to go over and talk to Red, and he was like, "What if he yells at me?" I thought that was funny.
I think this is Midge talking to Kitty. Are you excited about Thanksgiving? Yes. Red's mother is coming. What's that pet
really
name
funny.
she has for you? Whore. That's a good one.
So
That's a
funny.
good Kitty moment.
Kitty's great. I liked when Kelso, I don't know why this made me laugh, when he was like asking Eric to tell the story of like kissing the college girl. And he's like, make it sexy. Tell us a sexy story. Those
didn't think
words
that
in
was
that
funny.
order were really funny to me.
But we're grabbing for laughs here.
Mm-hmm.
I've got Eric's boner.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'll be honest, it doesn't work for me as well with Donna, but
Yeah.
it's because they changed the joke to it being like,
She's going to make herself reach the climax.
but they don't like make her orgasm because she's a kid.
Mm-hmm.
But the idea is that she doesn't cool down. She like lets herself write it out and then she's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just
She
not
finishes.
exactly. I kind of like that they don't just make her do the same thing. I get that they're trying something there, but it didn't work for some reason for me. It lost in
What if
translation.
they had Donna also go to her dad in the bubble bath to not be horny?
Yeah. More jokes about Bob's hideous body. Huh?
Yeah.
No, that would be funny.
Be
would
funnier.
But Eric doing it I thought was funny, especially the shot of him having to bury his dog instead
That
of
was
going
good.
out for the night and Red handing him a shovel was like
Do you
the
have a go
extra
to
touch.
like shut off?
No. Why would I shut it off?
You just let it ride out?
Yeah.
Sure, no matter where you are, when you
Well,
are.
I'm not 16 anymore. I'm not becoming fully erect in situations where I need it gone now.
I gotta get rid of this
You know what I
today.
mean? It doesn't happen while I'm just like going about my day. It happens every single morning like a man.
Come on, you wake up, you're in a third grade classroom, it's 3 p.m. You gotta
Yeah.
get out of there.
Yeah. I gotta get out of here. The bell just rang and I was getting close to something. I gotta get out of here.
I gotta go. I don't know. I don't either.
You don't either what? I lost the thread.
My last one was when at the party after Bob and Red are laying there, when Hyde walks up. Hey there, Bob.
Hey there, Bob.
You want a piece of
Want a
pie?
piece of pie? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. That was a good one.
I like Hyde's interactions with the adults. They're fun.
Hyde's funny.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got this so like too cool for school and they don't play him off in a funny way. He's
Yeah.
like the one guy on the cast who's all of this
Acting.
is dumb. He's
Yeah.
like in on the cosmic joke of it all.
Mhm.
He's like, the show never goes this meta, but he's like the guy who would know we're on a show right now.
Yeah.
And I don't know, that's a really funny moment that
Mhm.
that seems like, as much as I hate it,
Yeah.
I feel like Danny Masterson probably just did that.
Yeah. And I
And it
bet
was
it
funny.
was really funny
very
they kept it in.
Really
Mhm.
liked it. Hey there, Bob. You want a piece of pie? I liked the thread with Eric and Donna at the end of the episode a little bit.
Mhm.
I thought the conversation that they have was good. I thought the scene where Midge stays while Eric shows up at first, I thought that was all good. I thought it was funny when Eric says, "You know that girl from college that Lori brought home? Oh, the slutty one?" I
Yeah.
thought that was funny for some reason. Don't always like when the show calls girls sluts, but when Donna's like, "Oh, the so
that
obviously up
instance,
to
yeah.
trouble one." Oh, I got one more. You got any more?
Nah, I'm done.
Forgetting the grandma. Like, let's go. Here's the keys, let's go.
Sure,
Oh
'cause you
yeah,
do kinda
aren't
forget
you
about the
looking
grandma.
like,
Mhm.
put your glasses on.
Look outside,
Sure,
are you
there?
sure?
They left a half hour ago. That feels true to life.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That's my biggest laugh, biggest cringe. Well, look, we squeezed something out of this episode.
we
It wasn't
did.
the best, but it was fun.
We made
I
it
like
work.
some good moments. Who's gonna get a hit, a first hit, the first ooh, spicy hit this week?
I have a choice.
Okay.
I made a decision.
Well, that's the part of the show.
And this person, I do not agree with their actions.
bad behavior.
Bad behavior, but they kind of got away with it.
Give me
And
the
I feel
cake.
like if I'm in this situation as like
to
one
give
of the
this to
friends and I'm circling up, the person that wins the most in this episode is Eric Foreman. Eric gets the first hit because he made out with a college girl. He
Yeah.
made out with Donna with tongue all
Yeah.
within 24 hours. Kid's doing fine.
Okay.
His relationship with Donna is not negatively impacted at all. For like 5 seconds it was. And then
Yeah.
he kissed her with tongue and she was like, yeah, I'm back on board.
Yeah, I'm going to step over that. I'm going to give an honorable mention to Kitty.
Uh-huh.
And I think I am going to give it to Donna.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly for the way that she holds her ground and says her piece against Eric. That doesn't, a fight doesn't mean the relationship has to end. So often that means a relationship is over in these things, that they had like a fight on a sitcom, you know.
Eric
I don't think
made
it's-
out with another girl.
I don't think it's so bad that she ends it still wanting to be with Eric potentially. But I think the way that she stands up for herself and says what she needs to say to Eric before deciding she'd like to maybe still be with him is good enough to give her a hit of that sweet kush.
Mm-hmm. Sure. I won't argue it.
Well, you kind
If you
of
think
did.
Donna deserves the
You
hit
did.
more.
Yeah, she needs it.
Yeah.
Speaking of hits, we're going to close out the show, as always, with that 70s playlist, because the original versions of these episodes had some great 70s music that are cut out on streaming
A couple
and on
of good
DVD.
songs in this one.
2 moments, and I want to talk about both of them before we cue the song and go out, because they were both weird in episode. First is there's what's the picture?
It's like a family at a
The
dinner
Thanksgiving
table.
Thomas Kincaid painting. I think it's Thomas Kincaid. And all of the mouths are moving to the song All the Young Dudes. And like all of the people at the table are doing one part and the person with the turkey is doing the other part. In the DVD, completely unrelated music. That visual is still there.
That's haunting.
There's instrumental, no vocals, all the mouths moving for no reason. And then the other one moving separate from them for also
That's
no reason.
haunting.
Bad. I just hiccup burped for those keeping track at home.
Nice.
The song I am going to play is The Other Moment, You Sexy Thing.
Love
Good
that
track.
song.
I Believe in Miracles.
Good
Where
song.
are you from?
Great
You Sexy
funk
Thing.
cut.
Which is played when everyone's favorite That 70s Show, recurring, I hope, character Kate.
Love Kate in this
That
house.
song plays as she's fiddling around with Eric's G.I. Joe.
Older woman kissing an underage guy. That's
And
right up
another
my
moment
alley.
where it was replaced with really filler instrumental music. And
Sure.
she was like, when you watch it with the real song, she's kind of moving to the beat of the song.
Yeah,
That was not the
she's
case
listening
watching
to
it the other way. Yeah. But
She's
we're
like
going to
kinda
listen
singing
to
it to the little guy.
We're going to listen to it. You know this song, right? Everybody knows this song.
I
It's a real
believe in
classic.
Malcolm. You know, when I was a kid, I thought the lyrics were "I believe in Malcolm" because I was a big Malcolm in the Middle fan. And I was like, yeah, I believe in
You
Malcolm.
believe
too.
that show had
the pull,
really
yeah.
take off. Do you know what the song's by? First time I'm hearing this.
Sly and the Family Stone.
No. We're about to cue it up. We've probably already played some of it. We're going to listen to You Sexy Thing by Hot Chocolate.
Ooh, sexy.
That is
That's
kind of
sexy.
sexy.
Yeah.
That's sexy. Thank
like
you for
that.
listening to The Basement. Thank you for supporting us on the Patreon. And have a great week. We'll be back.
Bow, bow,
Now, 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 now.
I feel like this is in like every school dance like scene. Let's
get back up on that dryer.
Yeah.
Some hot chocolate playing.
You sexy thing, you. I believe in miracles. Since you came along, you sexy thing.